What's up, y'all? What's up? Man, why I feel like I'm sitting like so close to the camera? Ooh, Lord. Hold on. Let me put something together and move back here. This video, I will be discussing the supernatural even more. And I'm gonna sit here and say this because I told you guys I'm not in the business right now of saying what is not true, unless I just automatically have no occurrences of it being true, of these things being true. Now, since someone that you're sitting here, you're talking to, there have been quite a few of you guys that has actually worked with me, whether you got like a birth chart reading or whether I talked to you, on a spiritual level before. It's like and I know, we know that these supernatural occurrences take place, and this is simply because we are not just physical form. Even religious people know this. If they did not, and this is what gets me every single time, okay? This is what gets me every single time when there is this need, when we're under this religious umbrella, to say, we have these occurrences, how we identify them and how these occurrences, miracles, blessings are taking place is neither here nor there. But the fact is that we associate events that's playing out with it being something that's outside of our control, however you want to put it. Even if we're looking at it from a sense of it being our higher self that's causing these things to take place, we do realize that it's out of our physical control sometimes, like what we are physically capable of doing at any given point in time. And because of that, we say it's another set of events, okay, that is giving us the power or giving us the insight, the capability to have certain things happen. And it's a whole other conversation. It's a whole other conversation. Now, with that being said, I want us to get into the place to where we have left the physical plane and we've left the five senses behind a little bit, for now, okay? And we're going to talk about different communication techniques, mind techniques, and abilities to pierce through, or I feel like I'm looking for another word, or ascend the physical plane in the way that we would usually communicate. Now, as an individual myself that has worked with other people, other individuals, especially children that have different type of communication styles, like I'm talking nonverbal, etc. And I've had to even help be part of creating or developing language for them, their own language. Even if it was sign, like them signing, it would not be even the standard method of sign language. It's their variation, because it still be limited things that they can do and grasp in, the standard way of signing. So creating this language for them, teaching it to them, and then helping their parents also, or their family members, people in close association to them and affiliation to them, learn this as well. I am all more, I'm very capable of understanding and grasping that we do not communicate the same. There's no such thing as just one way of communicating. Okay, whether it's verbally, non-verbally, the same language, different, whatever. And because remember, whatever is taking place on the physical form is already taking place on a spiritual level of things, of understanding. Like, that's something that we've already grasped on a certain level, to where we're trying to bring it down and make it physical, but there's still aspects of it that we don't completely grasp if we are trying to make it all physical. Okay, so with that being said, let's start with this. First one I want to talk about is clairvoyance. I have mentioned this. I do believe I have a video that I mentioned where I mentioned this on my channel, and if I find it, I'll post it also, so that you can click on it and look at it as well if there's something that you want to. But clairvoyance is definitely the ability to see past, or see beyond, see through this, like a set of current events that's playing out, like in front of your face, like a physical aspect of things. It's the ability to see past, like, what is right here in front of us, like what we perceive to be going on, the thing that we perceive to be going on that appears to possibly be real, or appears physical to us. It's made manifest or whatever. It's ability to see beyond that. And this, like, I did a video speaking about manifesting, and this using clairvoyance can also be, if you're somebody that's really gifted in that, it's like a tool that can be used to help with manifestation techniques as well. Clairvoyance, like this a person that communicates in this form or has this skill is able to see future events play out. Is able to see something, like they could literally look at something and tell you just about how it's going to play out, or the probability of it playing out. They're visionaries. They could see the whole picture of something. Like, have you ever seen somebody that, like, you talk to, that can even be like a counselor or something like that? Like, they can act as that, like a spiritual counselor or something, to where they, or just even if they're not, let's just say take an everyday person, to where you go and you're so set on your argument and your side of things, and then when you go and you talk to them and you communicate with them about what's going on, they can sit here and be like, okay, well, yeah, you did this, but the other person did that, but it's really this that's going on, and you should do that, and this is how it might play out. And you're like, wow, like, why didn't I see that? Because an individual that has a gift of clairvoyance, they can see the whole entire picture. You know, sometimes they can even see things, like an occurrence of something that could possibly happen, and their job is to warn other people, to help save people, or to do whatever. Now, listen, if you're a soul and you're currently in the avatar or vehicle right now, as someone that's like from the future, or like futuristic, or like from a planet or dimension, to where you actually can see past the current dimension or the current planet, what we're vibing on right now. You can become as a visionary, and you can be somebody that comes and you are transforming modern society, or you're transforming or helping humans evolve, should I say, with your vision of the way things should be, or the direction we should all be going in, or even the evolution process, basically. Not that we all have to agree on the same thing, but the evolution process and the awakening, okay, of people and situations in life in itself. So clairvoyance, having that gift, you are a visionary, and you're not limited to the sight, like physical sight. Okay, you can see through a lot of things, and because of that, you creep people out. Okay, next is clairaudience. Clairaudience is someone who has a gift of like hearing that's not really being said. Okay, so yeah, it could be, you can hear a whole conversation. You can even grasp what's going on inside of somebody's mind. Like, you'll be near a person, or you'll be around and you start talking about something, or you're in a conversation with a person and you start saying things to where the person is like, well, dang, like that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, how do you know? Like, and you can also use this. Sometimes you're not even knowing that you're doing it. A person with a gift of clairaudience do not always know that this is what they're doing, because it's not something that's isolated or identified. It's just something that's intuited, and you can be speaking and healing somebody or giving them a resolution or answer to a problem and not even knowing that that's what you're doing. Some people may be like, oh yeah, really, thanks, because I was having trouble with that, or that's something that I was trying to work on or figure out. But then there's other individuals that will not do this at all. They'll just look like, okay, that's kind of cringe. So keep this in mind. You can connect with other people on a mental, psychological level. You can hear things from the spiritual realm really clear, whether it be other entities. See, I don't know. Listen, what we not gonna do though is we not gonna be sitting up here pretending like we don't know that there's other entities that's up in the galaxy, in the dimension. That's what we not gonna do. Okay, so wherever you're hearing it from or whatever that source is, I'm not labeling what that is. All right, that's not my job here. I think people just get too caught up into that stuff. Whatever you're hearing, because and I can't stand when people act like certain entities only tell them negative things unless it's maybe an authorized prophet. Okay, that's not. Listen, we're not gonna do that, because when you come over here, you gotta come under the guise. Okay, you have to come with the understanding of there's certain things we've already moved past that is not up for debate. Okay, because we're not going backwards over here. No, but still, what I'm trying to say is that clairaudience, you hear things. Okay, sometimes you can, if you get really good with it and you can isolate. I'm not talking about. Listen, there's people right now with certain mental crises that's going on that's absolutely listening to entities. And let me tell you, certain ones, and let me tell you, not everybody. And I don't want to speak on that directly on here, especially in situations where we have psychologists and stuff in place that, has already labeled some of these things. And I don't, this is not the conversation I'm having right now, but what I'm saying is that, and you will hear people sometimes tell you, okay, well, I did it because something told me to. Okay? So, listen, hey, it is what it is. Clairaudience, you have that hearing. You can pick up on very fine, very, very fine vibrations and frequencies, and you're tapping in and you can get information and you can use that information. This is people that do this on a subconscious level. They're not even knowing sometimes, and there's people that do this purposefully. And hey, there's a lot of technology that we have access to we have to this day that came from someone being clairvoyant or having clairaudience. Okay, but it's not like it's a mental thing, a subconscious thing a lot of time, but it's not necessarily that you're communicating back and forth with somebody. It's a part of it, but we'll get to that with telepathy. And telepathy is where you're kind of using your clairaudience, or it's like a telephone, like you're actually communicating back and forth with someone. And this is the thing, how powerful you are with this. And depending on if another individual, what level they're on with their ability to pick up on, okay, well, I'm telepathically communicating with somebody right now, or I'm picking up, it's like a radio signal. Remember what I told you, if it exists here, it exists already, period. If we have signals and satellites that picks up radio waves and and processes information from one space and put it into all these other different spaces, then we can already do that ourselves, like mentally. It ain't no doubt about it. Okay, so telepathy is the same thing. This is the thing. We want to move into a space of conscious telepathy. Okay, I will tell you certain aspects, because there's certain people that you can pick. Okay, let's put it like this. I'm not gonna take too long with this. I'm gonna do a separate video, if that's needed. Okay, the radio in your city, in your local area. Maybe there's like 3 or 4 little towns or cities or whatever. You're in the same county. I don't know, depending on how strong the radio wave is, to where everybody in this area, in that area, picks up on a signal. And then, because they're on the same frequency for whatever reason. Okay, and then, but you can't pick up on the radio waves, the signals from someone else's county, or from like 3 or 4 states over, or across the country. Now, okay, we've gotten good to where we can do that, and like using like different radio apps and stuff like that. But that's like the evolved aspect of it. So let's bring it back to even dealing with people that you have telepathy with. Some people can use telepathy to control other people, and they don't really know what it is that they're doing. They don't know why they're responding certain ways sometimes, but they're like, oh, why am I doing this? Like, why am I, thinking this or thinking this about this person or whatever? Because some people just overlook it. But then you have others where you're thinking about each other at the same time. Like, you can actually pick up the fact that you're thinking about each other at the same time. You see this a lot of times with couples, or you see this a lot of times with people that may be spiritually connected, or kind of vibing or moving on the same frequency, right? But there may be other people that cannot pick up that same frequency that's established between a group of people, a certain group of people, or a certain, even between 1 or 2 people. It doesn't matter. It depends on where you're vibing, how you're vibing, and if you're connected. It's kind of like a telephone. Like, if I pick up, okay, and I'm calling somebody and they pick up and they answer, nobody else, well, except for the people that are spying on us. But listen. Let's keep it simple. But other people is not listening in on our conversation. It's because the phone line is directly connected to that other person or that individual. And then, when we start doing like the 3-way and then all this other stuff, the call waiting, whatever you want to call it, other people can kind of dial in. The group expands out. Evolution takes place. Well, we're trying to telepathically or we're trying to consciously, evolution-wise, understand and grasp telepathy. It's a communication tool. And sometimes, like I said, if you practice this with somebody that you have this with, now I said, it can happen when 2 people are thinking about each other, or people thinking about each other, especially like 2, I'm gonna do an isolated event, are thinking about each other at the same time. You could literally have a whole conversation if you get out of the way and not really use doubt. Okay, like you don't have to verbally communicate every single time. And this is where we're going. And I feel like even in relationships, or even when a lot of misunderstandings take place, because we're getting these strange connections with people and situations that we would not normally have done in the past, that's causing us to evolve and to communicate in a way to where it's hard to use words. And people, they get stumped by the words, because they're like, well, I know I'm feeling this and I know you're feeling that, but why won't you tell me? Telekinesis is very, 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 a very strong mental, like, you got to be doing mental acrobats, okay, for telekinesis. Telekinesis is the ability to actually move things, okay, transform things with the mind alone. All right, that was, if you watch Stranger Things, that's what those Elle and them, that was their ability. They had telekinesis, or they used telekinesis, and the scientists was trying to put them in positions to where they can build on that and strengthen it. So telekinesis, I feel like it's something that some people, very few people use. I think that on a subconscious level, there's people may do this or use telekinesis more than they know, because consciously people don't always believe in telekinesis. So subconsciously you're moving stuff. You are literally moving energy around, and you're wondering like, dang, how did I move it? Like, how did this happen? Or how did I get in this position? Or how did like I get here, or, like from this situation? And you don't know that you just mentally move some okay? You don't know that, right? But you have the ability to, I feel like it'd be great to get to the level of where, we're actually seeing, maybe not in full blown right now, like some ill, like action and stuff like that. But I feel like the more we start working with our mind and recognizing that consciousness, that level of consciousness that exists outside of like our brain, like the physical identification of the mind, and we start removing these blocks and these barriers. That's what I'm saying. When you're in this conversation, when you click on this video, when you click on these videos, what you need to do, okay, is you need to forget about everything else that you have acquired up in that, up in that head of yours while you clicked on the video, because that is already showing to where there's blockages and there's limitations to what could actually happen and what we can actually do. And it's just really an evolution process, okay? Like, y'all, there's some mind-blowing things out there that you can do, okay? You don't even gotta touch people to get it done. And love or something like that, sexual experiences. So on that note, I'm gonna stop right there. And like if you have anything that you want to add to this particular video topic, or something else that you want me to speak on and elaborate on more, feel free to comment below, and I will definitely try my best to do so. Okay, all right, till next time, peace.